Hello, this is Tammy Braswell, and you're invited to experience the Transcendent Perspective, a glimpse into the high-frequency, energetic transmissions I share so you can experience yourself and your life more fully, and see through the collective conditioning from a higher frequency way of being. Let's flow into this perspective now. And so paying more attention to those words and the way that you're using them can make huge differences and shifts in the way you experience your life. Over the years, when I've offered other ways of viewing words that are being used by friends and clients and different people, sometimes I just meet. I invite them to consider the words that they're using. And when they've shifted the words, they experience shifts in their frequency and in their experiences. And I am very conscious about the words that I use verbally and in my writing because they hold frequencies and they will lead those listening and reading into different frequencies that the words hold. So in this audio, I'm going to offer you in this transmission thoughts about the meaning behind words and being conscious of the words that you use. So what I've come to know is there's the low frequency side of a word and the high frequency side of the word, the meaning of the words. And we don't always think about them. And I'm going to do individual audios for and transmissions for different words so that I can go into more depth into the words rather than attempting to put them all into one audio. I want to share them and give a fullness to understanding the usage of the word and the frequency that we're in when we are using those terms. There is a lot of energy flowing through me while sharing this transmission with you because this really can create a shift. I've been asked over the years, and I give different answers at different times because my understanding expands and evolves, and so what I share expands and evolves. And even understanding words the way I understand them now, the frequency of them has evolved. I'm often asked, what's a way to shift your frequency more easily? And the answer I'm going to give right now is it actually came through when I was on a podcast interview and the host just asked what kind of offering in shifting energy could I provide. And it was very clear what came through about the words we're using. But it doesn't have to be something really complicated like go sit somewhere and, meditate for an hour. It's more about your conscious connection with what you want to experience and how that shows up verbally and in the way that you speak, because you are speaking frequencies into existence for you. Like I said, when you first respond or react to something, notice what you say, because I so often will catch with people words they're using that are not in the vibrational resonance with what they say they want to experience. So, as I shared with her, one of the simplest ways is to notice how you're talking, how you're speaking, the words you're using, because they're going to indicate the frequency that you're on. Most often, because of our conditioning, we've been trained, if you will, programmed to speak from the lower perspective, the lower frequency meaning. And it isn't something people really think about. It's just the way we've been conditioned. So it's the things that automatically come out. Like I notice if maybe I decline an offer someone has for me. Well, here's this class or here's this thing. Would you like it? And I say, no, thank you. I'm not interested. I'll get the response, no worries. Now, in this transmission, I'm just going to touch on a few examples so that it makes sense what I'm sharing. But they'll say no worries. Now, to say no worries, it indicates that worry energy has to be somewhere in there, because you could literally say, oh, I understand. That's great. Thanks for letting me know. Anything like that. And sometimes I do get that, but more often than not, I get surprised that people just go, no worries or no problem. Well, let's really look at that energy. To say there are no worries or no problem, then that has to be part of the energy. Because why would you say it if it wasn't? Now, you may not consciously be going, oh, there is a problem with this, but that's just the collective conditioning. There's always a problem. There's always something to worry about. Well, energetically and vibrationally, if you're speaking from that place, then those energies are in your field and they're dominant or predominant energies because they are something that easily rolls off your tongue. What easily comes out of your mouth as words have the vibrational meaning behind them. So it is thinking about, what am I saying? If you choose to be in my field, in my energetic field, living frequency, tuned into the transcendent frequency, which is above all other frequencies that most people tune into and tap into at this time. This is where we're heading. If you come into my field and you listen or receive my transmissions, you'll notice that I even will correct wording that I use because there are still conditioned patterns that come forth, or it has to do with the resonance of those and the theme energy of those that I'm communicating with or that might be entering the field. And so I am very conscious about shifting them so that the frequency is what I consciously wanted to be rather than just letting it be whatever comes out. So it is noticing how you're referencing your experiences in life. I've even talked to people who believe that they're in a higher frequency. They really do. I've had clients who've said that they thought they were in a higher frequency until they started connecting with me and being in spaces with me and being my client, that they realized that they had been functioning from a lower frequency than they wanted to function from. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. So it's becoming aware. And I've refined this for myself over the years. It is paying attention to the wording. And I am sometimes surprised at the wording that those who believe they're in higher frequency energy will use, because it is wording that is still holding them in a lower frequency vibration. What I've also come to know is that, and this is the way to identify it maybe even easier, is that when you are talking from the low frequency meaning of a word, it feels more like it's an outer experience and it's happening to you. If you're speaking from the higher frequency meaning of a word, then it feels more internal and it's happening through you. So I'm going to use an example that's, to me, pretty common so that you can see the shift in the frequency. Many people will say, go with the flow. Now, flow is being in that divine connection. I've even shifted the word work to flow because work is heavy. Work is low frequency. It took me a little while, and sometimes that word still pops into things because I know that people know what that means, but I want to start shifting its meaning. So instead of saying work, I say flow, because when we are in divine flow, it doesn't feel like work. You're invited to receive the full high-frequency energetic transmissions I share in the Transcendent Perspective, offered within living frequency spaces for those ready to explore themselves more deeply. Continue on your transcendent journey with me through the link in the description below. And always know that I am sending much love to you.